This week's community feature is Brady Johnston, and he's created this series, Blender for Biochemists, and also Blender for Biochemists Fundamentals of 3D. Personally, I would retitle this video and just say Blender for Scientists Fundamentals of 3D, because Brady actually does a very, very good job covering a lot of the simple elements of 3D and an introduction to Blender. If you don't want to watch a donut tutorial, though you should absolutely check out the donut tutorials, they're really, really comprehensive, then this would be a very good place to start as a scientist, and I would be happy to recommend anyone to check this out. The Blender for Biochemists Intro to Blender is a absolutely fantastic start to finish video of inserting a protein structure into a scene, shading it, rendering it, all of the aspects that you would need. And this is something that I was intending to touch on, but never really got around to, mostly because I haven't touched on biochemistry in about 5 years since I finished undergraduate, and it was something that was a little bit more niche and required specialized software kind of as an intermediate. So if you're familiar with biochemistry and PyMol is something that is familiar to you, then Brady's going to really help you bridge that gap of bringing all of these specialized structures into a render engine and taking advantage of some of the aspects of lighting elements and really making your figures stand out in a very, very nice way. Together with Edwin Faco, my first community feature, they really covered it well enough that I don't feel I have to now make videos on how to stylize proteins or molecules in Blender. If you're interested in the molecule side, Edwin Faco has done a lot of that work, but Brady has really covered this quite nicely. Having spoken with Brady personally, because I always ask people if they're willing to be featured here, he is enormously pleasant to interact with. We have an ongoing conversation about various aspects of Blender and science, and I know that he intends to follow up these 2 videos with more in the future once he's got a little bit more time away from research. I also advise checking out Brady on Twitter. You can see that he occasionally puts up work such as this novel coronavirus that he actually modeled. And, this is a very, very impressive figure. I believe this was actually used in some research and or possibly news media publications. So this is the sort of thing that I imagine he is hoping to make tutorials of in the future. If you're a biochemist, if you're in biology, if you're in science in general, absolutely go check out Brady Johnston for his work in Blender, but also more generally in scientific visualization. And similarly, follow him on Twitter. Essentially, that's the endorsement for this week. I really don't know what else to say other than, thanks Brady Johnston for making this contribution to the Blender scientific community. And with that, thanks for coming out. And as always, you have yourselves a great old day.